see each other. Let's see.
So what's
There we
what's this proposal, Martin? It's your thing.
Do you listen well, Maya, or not?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you guys. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, you a little bit like quiet, but
Okay. Okay.
that's
Maybe I have to.
yeah.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know, Felipe. That's a kind of putting ourselves in community and
Yeah, I think it's great. Yeah.
in things and record some sounds and the idea is like inviting one poet each time and talk to him and the poet invite or present one piece on live or pre-recorded or also like that.
Wow.
Then but it we want to open in a moment to some different poet, not one at a time, and that is why we send a message to you, to George, to and Eduardo is from the beginning also, and he
Yeah,
will,
I was going to call him now, but I don't know if he's around. I can tell him to join.
say to him to join us. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it's a great idea to get all the freakies connected.
Exactly.
Then I don't know, Felipe was
This
small
is
family, yeah. So
a freakies gathering. Yeah.
yeah, it's the small family. So we need
I love it.
Yeah.
We need to get more in touch and contact. I saw yesterday you made the group, Martin, and I thought, yeah, that's great. Like, good, nice thing. Yeah.
Then I don't know, Felipe, what do you want to?
What I wanted to say is, first of all, it's great to see you again, Gerard and Martin, and I'm very happy to meet you, Maya, in person, not only by social media and hearing your recordings. And the idea is just to put together some ideas, some sounds to see what's happening in these very strange days, and to talk how are you doing and how are you considering your work during these days. For all of us, it has been a huge change in all levels, I suppose, in the way we have our usual works. In my case, I work at the university, but many of you work in, I don't know, different stuff, and also how can we perform what we want to do, all those things. That's the main idea.
How's it going now? Are you in good health?
Yeah.
Or not? Yeah. Okay. Are you okay?
Who?
Maya. Maya first. Maya, because Maya is invited of tonight.
Yeah.
Today it's Maya night, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
Is it? Okay. The night of the veils.
And Felipe will record. We will record that session.
Let me check. Yeah, I'm recording. Yeah.
When it's not in direct, we can like edit in later a little bit if you
exactly.
want to.
Yeah, sure. Cool. I fully trust you guys, which I probably shouldn't, but that's great.
I shouldn't.
No, exactly. But that is how I like to live, in full trust and in full risk.
Great.
No, I don't know. Yes, it has been a big change. It has I think for everybody, it has been a little bit like that. But especially this year, it has felt like this huge speed up. Like in the first months of 2020, it was like a train. I've never had so much work, and also this feeling of things like accelerating. And I was wondering, where is this going? Because can this really continue? And then came this full stop. And you really feel it, like things continue moving in slow motion, like you feel this crash happening. And what is left, like personally, I was in a beautiful project in Quebec at the moment of when everything started to shut down. And I was making wonderful work with people that I loved and everything. But yeah, the core thing was, can I go home? will there still be planes? Can I return? And this pull of the heart. I think that is the main thing that was like a wake-up call in a way in this whole thing. Like what is it that we value most? What is our value? What do we value most? And I've been hearing this from everybody around me, like, okay, a friend of mine had 7 shows as a visual artist, lined up. And she has a gallery that, not a gallery, but she has a studio where she never has work because everybody buys her work. Now nobody does because, times are different. And it's not a bad thing or a good thing, but it is, how do you relate? How do you relate now to the work that you make? That in her case, like, is laying around in her studio. So you create a different kind of like creating new work because you're still in relationship with the old. Lots of questions.
And now you are in Belgium, right?
Yes, I'm back in Belgium. I managed to get home.
Okay.
I did cancel one performance because I just wanted to return. It felt, the urgency was too big. Of course, I mean, I also have a little daughter of 7. So, I think you experience world a little bit different when you're responsible for others, not only yourself.
And have you managed to get some work done these days? On
yes,
like new work or
completely. I'm super productive.
Oh really?
It's
I am by you.
No, I mean, it's difficult because like being a mother and having a 7-year-old in the house.
Wow.
And teaching her because school isn't going on.
Exactly.
So it takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of and also this weird split between creative brain and the practical brain. And you're like, you're thinking about a sentence or a thought or a feeling, and then mama, like, okay, yes, sweetie, what? Okay. And then you go back to, what was that thought I had? It was so brilliant. Now I've lost it. But it's good to revisit your thoughts a couple of times.
I'm all.
And how has it been?
No, I'm all day thinking about the food and nothing more. What will we have for lunch or for dinner? Is my only preoccupation.
Very important. Very important. We had an awesome Thai salad tonight. I'm very happy.
Great.
As you say, Maja, also we have that this moment give you some question and that give you also some ideas for the new world or the new kind of rest of things that will happen after that.
I think there is a part of me that will come to that in a moment. At the moment, it feels like everything that I have not been able to do because of how life has been super busy, how it has been going from one project to another, and how it's merely like giving myself to others quite often. And now that has been cut off. Certainly some things continue, but there is like a diminishing of that. And all those things that I have put in my brain in like one little drawer of like later. Those things, they're like, hey,
it's now.
Wanna play? Yeah, they're very excited and calling very loudly.
Are you all experiencing the same? Because I'm doing the same. I'm recovering like very old projects, sculptures, things that I have there like forgetting, you know, in the time being. And now I'm doing it again, like videos and things that was there dead somehow, and they're getting alive.
Very alive. And also there is something of memories, old things that or feelings, things that we have not been able to deal with, you know, and all of a sudden you're like faced with, oh yes, that situation, how did I feel at that moment, and you relive those feelings. I find that very fascinating. I think it could be very difficult for certain people who have not had the time to like be in a healthy relationships with themselves.
Yeah. In my case, I have had more work than I should at this time of the year. I work at the university. I have to teach the classes by online, but it's not too much difference. But at the university, we have had a lot of changes, and I have to have meetings with the students and with the director of the institute and all that. There's a lot of bureaucracy going on. So I had this idea that this period would be like a wonderful moment to read and write, and haven't done any. I haven't read like 1.5 books in a month, so I'm really slow. But well, it's what it is, so it's not a problem. I usually tend to work more when I have even more work to do, so it's the opposite in my case. When I have more pressure, I can do it. When I have a spare time, I don't do anything.
But that's not bad at all.
No, it's, I mean, and you can control, I think it's whatever. And also it's very difficult to have a not only time but a concentration also. That's the other thing, is that I don't know in your case, but the first days I was watching TV and the internet all days, like doing graphics of the the people that have the virus and all that, and then I prefer to slow down because it was too much. But yeah,
of course, of course, yeah. I think the first days, yeah, as I said, I was in Quebec when it hit, and it was a very weird like experience, because I went there like in full oblivion, like not really thinking that anything would happen.
Yeah.
And then while there, I spoke with Philippe, not with Philippe, I'm sorry, with Vincent Tolomé, one of my collaborators, a poet, and he had clearly been already in a different mindset than, or in a different environment than where I was, because things were already accelerating here. And I could really feel this divide of like thinking, oh, but it's not such a big deal, and then are you sure? Yeah. And then in the days that followed, this weird shift happened, and all of a sudden nothing was safe. And the things that my rituals that I had started in Quebec of like, you know, going out for a coffee and all of a sudden you're there in the cafe thinking like, should I really be here?
Yeah, exactly.
Is this a good idea?
Yeah.
Gosh, that person is coughing. Why is she not at home?
Yeah. It was like a wave coming from China, then to Europe, and then to Latin America. And it's when I talked to some friends in Spain and Catalonia, they told me, we are living in the future of yours. It's like we are 2 weeks ahead from you, and it's very strange, and it's moving like in the same steps in every country. It's really weird.
Yeah.
We have Rocío Cerón from Mexico. She will join us right now, I think.
Beautiful.
That's that theory of the virus who arrived from the space. That is a really, say hello to Rocío and then. But you know that is a really theory of the 60s. They call it panspermy. That support but two like a Nobel Prize, like Franz Crick in biology, the guy who find the DNA. Hey, Rocío. And also the...
Hola, Rocío.
Hola, Rocío. And a guy who called it like Fred Hoyle, who was the inventor of the word Big Bang. And then they believe that everything of kind of virus and bacteria came from the space. And William Burroughs took that idea to say that language also is a virus. And maybe the language that the poetry that will do it now is a kind of, how you say, like anticorps, antibodies, like the rest of the language virus who arrives. That is a kind of more bird sounds, and more like northern lights sounds. No, I think it's more or radio waves. And maybe the language or the poetry that is a kind of reaction.
I like the idea of radio waves because, or waves, because waves can amplify each other and cancel each other out.
Van Halen bells were around the Earth, and it protects the magnetic field. The best thing that the human being has been to the ecology of the planet, create with the radio waves a kind of new bell inside of the Van Halen belt. Then all the spaceships could travel easier than before, and protect us from cosmic rayons. Then I think we have something between the waves, the radio, and the and poetry or sound poetry in a kind of transmission of something that or antidote of a collective fear in a way. What do you think, Rocío, about it?
In English?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just arriving, but I think the idea of language, no, más o menos de lo que entendí, of language as a virus, as a way of connecting and making interventions in the bodies, no, and how one of the things I am interested in the coronavirus is that the coronavirus needs un huésped, que no sé cómo se dice en inglés. I don't know how to say it.
Host.
A host. Yes. So it needs a host for getting for surviving. So that idea of the host is like for me is like the ways of the language, that how you can be the host of language, as in the book, no, in the paper, but also in the different platforms of the digital platforms that we are now. We are now in one of the platforms. But I think that's an interesting way of how can we be hosts of different kinds of language and sounds, no? In a very like viral platforms, no? As each one of us can be like one of these multiple universe of the viral language that we can be transforming and making common, no? As the technological things, so we can use now, we can see each other of us now because we have internet, and internet like the host of our voices, is the host of our forms and the host of everything we are doing, because it's like I don't know, it's like the water, no? It's like the water you need for surviving, or for getting to different places. And for me, that's one of the most interesting things that we can work with, no? The idea of the host.
Yeah, to me there's something about what you're saying that makes me think about, and it's almost like a trick of the language, but it's curious that you talk about our host in the internet space, while to me it's a ghost, not the host. It's curious that we are developing a lot of like right now. I mean, we are talking one to each other, but really we are not talking one to each other, right? We are having a kind of monologue talk about, yeah, I mean, it's are you there really, you know, it's this you are there but I'm not touching you, I'm not having any kind of physical contact, so it's more than a host, it's a ghost, right? That it's really how we can think we are going to go out of this, I think not like in a new way, but just it's going to develop what it's being developed until now. And I'm really critical, but and cynical. But my point of view is that we are going to end up worse than we was. I mean, this is not going to enforce, you know, the contact, and no, it's going to enforce much more these distances and more digital contacts and more like Amazon, let's say, than going to the shop, right? It is something, I don't know, somehow not frightening, but it's because it's being always like that, and they are developing that until now. But like I was hearing now, Felipe, you talk about how it was this wave going to South America, right? And you can see the same with the revolutions somehow. Yeah, or the demonstrations was in the street. I mean, Hong Kong ended, caused the coronavirus. Yeah, in you know, all this until Chile, you know, and it ended up as well because so is this just
the thing is,
you know, it's just coincidence? I don't know, you know, I'm not saying there is some agenda behind someone developing the virus, yeah, but what I'm saying is they really crashing and they really using it to
exactly, like if they can use it, they'll use it.
And I don't know if we can really fight. I like these ideas of Martin in the therapies and how through the sound poetry we can help the world, but we can try, but I think it's really optimistic, Martin, because I think we are really fucked up and we are going to be even more fucked up than we was.
It's a kind of just like have kind of to take off your fears in a way.
Yeah.
You're putting poetry
sure.
to connect the being with the action and with the vibration. Create something who don't take part of you in that space. That I think poetry could be helpful in a way. Maybe returning to Maja and how she connected in her work, in your work, because we have the chance to play together sometimes and to be like in contact for a moment, live not so far. And always I feel in your poetry, in your sound, it's a kind of connection between something invisible and something touchable, sensitive.
Well, I think what I was thinking with while we were having this conversation now about the virus, about what you said about waves, radio waves, oscillation, and everything actually being connected in a way, is the voice. Like, yes, we are not with each other right now. We're not in the same physical space, but our voices do touch, and the waves that come from that, like sound is wave. Yeah. So in that way, and in that way, I think we can do much more than we think, because these are invisible things, and what you send out vocally, in the words you say, in the color and the resonance of your art, of your sound, of your voice, I think it that can be a virus as well. It can also spread. I'm being very optimistic here, but
really
yes, exactly, it can be contagious. It can be contagious.
The thing is, we take the form, you know, the shape of the virus, not the, you know, the feeling side, or just the intelligence that is inside of communication. We can learn a lot of things about ecology now. It's like better than 400 years. It's like really, if you see the planet from the space, I think you see wonderful than before. and that's like kind of cosmic intelligence, and really like invisible. We cannot see it.
Yes.
Mask to mouth, like the voice in a way, or to make a filter for the voice.
Exactly. I'm having a lot of sound parasites at the moment. There's a lot of things happening. I feel like there are entities joining our conversation.
Did you send them the code, Felipe, to the invisible things?
Yeah, no, I wanted to say that that I don't think that I mean, now of course we are even more separated than before, but I always think that the body is a machine, and there are always processes and different interfaces. Even when you hear is like a wave that impacts a part of your ear, and then it goes different processes to your brain. So the fact that that we have additional processes is not like a huge difference. Of course, it's a difference, but we are living in. I mean, we're always in this kind of processes. It's the same today. I don't know if there you're celebrating it, but in Barcelona and a lot of countries,
people not celebrating.
Oh well, no. But I mean, today is the day of the book, and today lots of people were talking about the materiality of books. How do you like the smell of the pages and all that? And of course, I love books, but I also love digital books, PDFs, and different kind of digital documents that we can use to communicate. So, I mean,
it's a good question. How we can see, sorry to interrupt you, Felipe.
No, go.
That is like Eddie. How we can imagine the next books?
For example, yeah.
Well, today to buy me a 3D printer, in a way to send the
But that's like you can imagine like this, like today, they closed. It's not the party in the streets. There is no selling of books, anything. But of course, if you ask me, there is digital poetry. There is, I mean, sound poetry that doesn't need a physical book around. So it can be transformed, as Martin was saying, even 3D printers. So I can imagine a kind of a new San Jordi, developing all these digital things and really being creative. But then you realize that's us, it's this nuts family that we think this way, because the way they are doing it, it's they are selling the books in a delay, or they are selling it through Amazon, and it's like, oh, come on, it can be a virus as well, creativity, if you want to say it like that, but it should have much more strong effects in terms of in terms of get people sick and get really like this concomitants like a virus, right? Because it seems it's very difficult to, I don't know, even use this situation to change it, right? And to in digital poetry you can access no need of a physical book, so it's plenty of things there that it's very interesting.
At the beginning, like need physical also, book and physical gravitation is important. But maybe the idea that if you have your own printer and you print in 3 dimension the things, and as we can like travel in holograms in a moment, it's not so far from in theory it's already done, but in practice then we will arrive to something like that. The kind of like you create the universe with a kind of dates, in your own space, and sometimes you decide to move with someone in a moment, like with really good, like like I put my hologram, because when you make an hologram, it seems like all body disappear, and when you appear in one, but not can be a double.
one of the things I also think about this materiality, immaterial or immateriality material, that it's the language. No, that's one of the things I am researching on my own work. It's just what you were talking about, Felipe, no? So what happened with these kind of things that is como la puesta en página, la puesta en cuerpo, how you put the field is not only, no, as Vito it's not only the field is not only the page, so the field is everywhere. So when you were talking, I don't know the name. A ver, Martin, we are Felipe, Martin, Maja, and
Gerard.
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 Gerard. And Gerard says that more than a host, he feels that we were like, this is like a ghost, and I think it's more like a spectrum, no? Like we are living. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you have talked about this with some of the people, but in Mexico with my friends that comes from different kind of disciplines, like I don't know, visual art, sound art, etc., and poetry, they feel that they're like in a spectrum. It's something that you cannot feel in a material way, but it's happening. No, you can feel like the energy, how it's a little bit more low than if it when the people is all in the streets, and it's more like a kind of layers, no? So I think we are like living in a kind of a spectrum that has a lot of layers of sound, of layers of image, and a lot of noise. I think one of these I don't know, one of the things I've been recording, no, and I've been using for a piece is all this noise of the news, no, all this noise about the people saying what they feel. If they believe in Mexico, there are a lot of people that they think that this is not happening. I mean, that the coronavirus is not real, that the coronavirus is not real. If you go to a little town, like, well, not a little town, like in a city like Pachuca, or like in Guerrero, like in some of the states, in some of the cities, people really, and old people, and people like in their 50s or in their 40s, they think that it's not real, and that there is like it's like ¿cómo se dice esto? Una conspiración. It's a conspiration that begins with Trump. O sea, that begins in the U.S. and all the people around the world are absolutely the presidents. They think that this is a conspiración, a conspiratory movement, and you can go to a little store, no, and the people, they are not using like alcohol or any of the protocols, and they are listening to the news, and they are thinking that they're in a, like, I don't know, like in a fantasy or in a fictional no, abuse of the media, and the people are not believing in the news. They are not believing in the number of the dead. They are not believing. So that for me, it's like a multi-dimension of these layers of sounds, news, and I don't know how you're living in your different countries. But in Mexico, I have been in places that the people is not taking any care of all, because they think that this is like a play, or that it is like an opera, that something that it's going on but it's not real. How can you feel that it's not real what everyone knows that it's real, or the media or the news or the president or the vice president? I don't know. That's happening here. I don't know, in Chile or in other places.
In a way, they have right also. There's a lot of fake news and a lot of exaggeration. It was wonderful because I don't know if it was layers and you mix layers and layers, or me in my ears, and then I think, and the same idea of the multiverse, reality are truth at the same time. That what Epicurus say the same things. The philosopher in Greece, they say that, look, you say that multiple truth bring peace to humanity. It's like the same, that the problem with monotheism, or like have only one truth or only one reality is suspicious.
Only one. Yeah, but I mean, if we would have like said that this would be happening to ourselves half a year ago, like we would be like, yeah, wow, you have some wild ideas. Yeah? So yeah, I can understand it.
Here in Chile, I think like there's no like a credibility problem like in Mexico. That I've heard about that also, or in the States that people are protesting and they are saying like let the weak die and we want to be free. I mean, and I think of course there's some people that doesn't take care of what they should do, but in general the things are going well, I think. But the I mean it has been like a bigger problem in the social difference, in the economic difference of the people. For example, the people that have more money thought that they can go to holidays to their house in the beach, but the government said that nobody can move out of their cities, but they took their helicopters and went there as well. So it's like that kind of problems. Because as in Chile, there was like 6 months ago, it started a huge wave of protests that has been really, really big. So this is like a parenthesis in that huge revolution. So it's mixed also. And also the other problem is that we have been very stressed with all the revolts previously. It doesn't matter if you are if you want them or if you're against, but there's a lot of movement and victims and violence and all that. So there's like a huge stress in the whole country with this also.
No, what? Because we imagine that space like a.
Martín, tu micro no termina de funcionar bien.
Sorry.
I see.
That better? Sorry, maybe not too loud. But the idea to mix that kind of space with some poetry conversations, poetry vagations, ideas, crazy sound, vibration, different things. Also like to show something physical, you know, like live, or you reading something or making an improvisation or showing us one of your piece. Then I'm connected or not to the experience we have today. What do you prefer?
Maybe you can present something that we can watch online, for example, like an audio or video, but you can present it and then we can edit and put it in the same video, whichever you like.
Okay. Yeah, I think there is one piece that I created. Excuse me, I need to put the power into the phone.
Okay.
1 second. Just like me. Okay, let's see. Okay.
No. Chicos, voy a tener que irme porque tengo una enana, tengo una niña que está. Tengo hambre. Pero juntémonos.
Dale de comer, dale de comer.
Juntémonos. Aquí les enseño a la enana antes de irme corriendo. Aquí está esta niña. Juntémonos en la próxima sesión. Saluda y despidámonos.
Comer, venga.
Bye. Nos vemos.
Bye, bye. Bye.
Okay. Bye. Bye bye. Nice
Bye.
to hear you and see you. Okay.
We lost Maja live.
I'm still there, I think. Just making a lot of noise, trying to readjust my my setting here. Martin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Are we good? Yeah. Okay.
The other one we can cut the microphone like that. We have less.
Everything. It might be my
I just like listen like a kind of noise, like a kind of microphone from the computer. I don't listen your voice.
Okay.
No, it sounds more like my pieces than your pieces.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm hearing you guys very low right now.
No, it's good.
No, it's good.
Now it's good.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. I'm having some issues with hearing you guys. 1 second. I'm gonna up that. Yeah. Is it okay now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, awesome.
We mute all of our sounds, so it's just your sound.
Okay. So there is one piece I think that I find relevant to share at this moment. At the moment, the name of it, the title might still change, but it's called Shh. And it's a visual and sound piece that got created just before the shit hit the fan, basically. So it is more like me picking up things, I think, the tension rising somehow. I think, Martin, like we have performed together and we have worked together, and you know how things can sometimes be picked up from all around without without there being clear rational thought behind it. I'm sorry, but I'm having a cat that is very, very wanting to join the conversation. Ja. Yeah. Oh. He normally doesn't come all the way to the studio, but now he just wanted to join me all. This piece, Sh. It's an exploration of silence. But how can you explore silence? You can only explore the sensation of silence by noise or by sound, because it is only in the absence of something that you can truly experience it. It's only in the contrast that you can find what it is that you seek for. Yeah, I don't think I really want to say much more about the piece. I think that those are the core things, and all the cats have gathered around me. The mother of cats, right here, and it is if I would add one more thing, then it is a little bit of an anecdotic thing, and that would be there is voice in the piece, but it isn't my voice. It's an Icelandic singer and he's singing a lullaby. It sounds like a choir. It's a lullaby that is very popular in Iceland, and as beautiful as that country is, it can also be very cruel. It is about abandoning your child. It is about sleep, my darling, have beautiful dreams, but I'm going to throw you in the waterfall. And because I want to protect you. And that's, yeah, it's this the impossibility of things coming closer that are so horrible we can't imagine them. Yeah. I hope that was enough. I can't hear you guys, so it feels awfully quiet on this end.
Do you hear me? Do you hear me then?
I hear you now. Thank you for your voice. I don't feel so lonely anymore.
No.
Yeah, like no, I just like but where we can hear that
see or hear the piece.
Yeah, or you can send us the link in the chat.
I will. 1 moment.
Great.
Okay. Let's see.
How about Eduard, Gerard?
¿Ah?
¿Le escribiste a Eduard?
¿Cómo?
Perdona, es que tengo que hablar cerca. ¿Le escribiste a Eduard?
Sí, I wrote him, but I think he might be, I don't know, he's disconnected. No.
Okay.
Next.
Okay.
Your video is frozen, I think, Maja.
Oh, I'm trying to find the other video so I can get the link. So it's quite possible that in the meantime my phone is doing all kinds of weird things.
Tell me when you're ready. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm coming. Almost ready. I'm gonna send you guys the link in the WhatsApp. In the WhatsApp. Language is a virus. There we go.
Oh, perfect.
Papa. There you go.
Great. Well, guys, now I have to leave because I have to return to my duties at the university. I have like three meetings in a row. Not as interesting as this, of course. But thank you very much. I really enjoyed seeing you and hearing you. And well, the idea that we were talking with Martin is like to repeat this every some days. I mean, this kind of hour is good for us in Latin American, and I think it's good for you also.
Okay.
Well, I'm really happy to see you all. I recorded this, so then we can.
So it can be used against us.
Exactly. That's the idea.
A television or that with the piece that you sent to us, and then
yeah, I can put it, and yeah, so maybe we can put it on air on the weekend, for example. That would be cool.
Yeah, give us a little bit more time because like everything is like
all good.
All
good.
But anyway, that to keep like once a week to meet.
Yeah, that would be great.
And if you want to join some other poets also.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think
very cool.
Everyone in the administrator, and
brilliant.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about and keeping together. Thank you, Maja.
Thank you, Maja.
Thank you all. It was super nice to connect. Thank you.
I talk with you if you have time. Maya, you have a little time?
Yes, I have a little time. We can.
I will cut this, and well, wonderful guys.
Yeah, I will.
See you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
See you very soon.
Well,
bye bye.
things to do. Yeah, but let's keep in touch. Let's do this
definitely
again. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Good. Bye bye.